Hey guys, it's Melissa here. I wanted to jump on today and talk about something that I know has been affecting me lately, and that is grief. Today would have been my mom's birthday, and it's a wonderful and special occasion for me because it's also my twins' 22nd birthday. They were born on her 50th birthday, and she was so proud of that. But it's also bittersweet because while we're celebrating my twins and I love them dearly, it's hard because this also would have been my mom's birthday. And grief is a really difficult thing, it's a hard journey. I'm in the process now and almost finishing up writing a book called Beautiful Mourning. And it's mourning, Mourning, because it's about the beauty that we find when we go through the grief journey. I know people probably think beauty and grief, what is that? There's nothing beautiful about grief. And I get it. But there are a lot of beautiful lessons that we learn when we go through the grief process. And it can be a very beautiful thing to treasure and remember all of those beautiful memories we made with our loved ones. I hope in writing this book that I'm able to help other people who are going through this because it is an extremely difficult thing, especially if someone you lost was very close to you. And if they were young, I feel like my mom was still pretty young when she died. But my hope is to bring you a little bit of peace. And I wanted to pull a few cards for you today from the Talking to Heaven deck by James Van Praagh because this deck is so beautiful and I love being able to receive messages. And our loved ones try to send us messages all of the time to tell us that they're still here. The other day, for example, I was on a FaceTime with my daughter Allie and the lights went out. And I thought, oh great, less power. But I looked up and the TV was still on. And then I thought, okay, the light bulb burned out. But there were two separate light bulbs. And I thought, okay, they both would have had to go out at the same time. So I walked over to the light switch and it was turned to the off position. I was the only one home. There was no way anybody could have turned it off. And it wasn't loose or anything like that. You had to physically push the button down. So I thought, okay, that's really interesting. And then just a few days later, I was texting my daughter and it happened again. Our loved ones in spirit are always trying to show us that they're still very much with us. The pain that we feel is really just the amount of love that we had for them with nowhere to go, right? It's spilling out all over the place. We love them, but they're no longer here and we don't know what to do with that love. So I thought I would get you some messages today from this deck just to give you some signs and some peace and hope that might bring you some comfort this week if you're going through any kind of loss and you're feeling sadness or grief from it. And I love this because the first card coming out is my death was painless. Please don't worry or hold on to guilt. I love that. If you had to deal with a loved one who died in a tragic way, or maybe you feel like they were in pain, once they cross to the other side, they don't feel any more of that pain and they want you to let that go. In fact, one of my whole chapters in my book is about letting go of the guilt because guilt is a huge step in the grieving process. Most of us feel like we should have done more things. You also have, I have no more earthly worries. One of the only things that brings me even an ounce of comfort sometimes when I'm going through this grieving process is to understand that even if I could bring my mom back, I wouldn't want to because she's in a much better place and she's much happier. There are sunflowers all over this, so maybe the sun or sunflowers are a message to you. My mom used to always sing "You Are My Sunshine" to everyone, and I got my sunflower tattoo that says "You Are My Sunshine" in her honor. So perhaps that's a sign to you. You also have, I'm surrounded by loving animals. We are greeted by our animals when we cross over. And if your loved one was an animal person and had animals that had crossed over before them, they are surrounded by them. They greeted them. They are with them on the other side. And then we are soulmates. Yeah, soulmates are people that we made agreements with to come here and to experience this world. We also had to agree to experience their loss. And it can be hard to understand, but in the book I try to explain all of this and hopefully help you get through this grief process with a little bit of grace. Flowers are on here if you have, also the beach, so beach or flowers might also be a symbol for you, for your loved one. And we have birds on this other card, so perhaps they send you cardinals. Your loved ones might send you coins or feathers. There are so many different ways that our loved ones can come through and bring us signs that they're okay. So I hope that this message was helpful for you and that it eased your grief just a little bit. And my hope is that the book that I'm writing will also help so many people to get through this process, because it is so difficult. It's not easy, and there's no expiration date. You don't get over it just because people tell you you need to be over it in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. It doesn't work like that. It would be great if we could just say, I'm ready to be done with this grief, but it doesn't work that way. When holidays and special occasions come up, it can feel especially raw. And so if that is happening for you, I am sending you so much love and light, and I hope that you have a beautiful week. And just remember all of the good times you had with your loved one, because the love that we had together, that's really all they take with them. And if you can remember that a little bit, it might help to ease your pain. I hope you have a beautiful week. I'm sending you so much love and light. If you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, I offer them. You can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. But I hope you have a wonderful week and you see lots of blessings coming in, and look for the signs from your loved ones, because they are trying to let us know every day that they are still with us. All right, guys, take care.